So today we're going to be tier ranking tropes from my books. So I'm really excited for this video. It took me like a long time to create this tier rank list. So if you guys want to maybe check out the link below, I'll see if I can actually link this so you guys can actually create it maybe in your own time. Tier rank my book tropes from my novels for yourself. But yeah, I'm so excited to get into this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already because it does mean so much and I work really hard on my videos, so it would mean the world. However, let's go ahead and tier rank some of my tropes from my own book. Okay, so here I have my tier ranking list. I'm gonna go through quickly just the tier ranks and see, you know, what's going on. So simply yes, yes, yes is of course like, yes, I love this trope so much, give me more. I would sit my tier to this. This is like, yes, I love it. I feel like everyone should love it, but it's not as like prestigious as yes, yes, yes. Then I have entertaining to say the least. So these are like really good tropes that I do enjoy reading, but not so much. Like it's good, okay, it's objectively good. Then I have little basic. These are like tropes that I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, it's fine, but like it's kind of overdone. Then burn it, just like I don't like this trope at all. So yeah, so they're all the tiers, and let's go ahead and rank my book tropes. Okay, so first over here we have Sunshine X Grumpy. You guys should know that I love this trope so much. I just adore it whenever any book kind of comes up with this sort of dynamic between the two main characters, and like, oh my gosh, there's a few of my books that actually have the same trope, and I just like adore it so much because it just brings out like a foil between the characters. So like each character is impacting and like brings out different aspects of their characteristics, you know, through each other being together. And I just love how the grumpy side character or the grumpy main character like always never like admits how much they love the Sunshine character, and like, oh, so cute, I love it so much. But I think honestly I would put it in, I could have put it in simply yes, yes, yes. It's just like, it's so cute because there's a few of my books that have this, and of course why would I put in a lot of my books if I didn't like it? So yes, yes, yes. Next up we have hesitant allies to lovers. I love this trope. If you guys don't know, I actually really don't like enemies to lovers like at all. I think it's just overdone, overhyped, and that's why like literally none of my books have at least like hardcore enemies to lovers. And I know there's different, like it's like a spectrum, which is very complicated, and sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like just don't do it. But hesitant allies to lovers, like especially in like a context where they have to work together and they're about to like die, or like it's like a survival thing and they're like in close proximity, they need to work together, they kind of just have like this natural like banter that is just like so entertaining and very sweet and very natural. Because I feel like flirting within this sort of trope, hesitant allies to lovers, is very realistic in a way. Like at least when I flirt in real life, it's very much like banter. It's very much like, ugh, like, you know, you hate them, but it's not like hate like enemies to lovers. And that's like the sort of disparity between the two tropes. But this one, I'm sorry, I gotta put it up here right now. Hesitant allies to lovers, I love. Okay, next up we have main character dies. Oh my gosh, whoa. Whoa, okay, so this is like for one of my books, and I actually think this is so interesting because like I guess it is very unique. At least I haven't really read any books that have this particular trope in it, but I think it's extremely powerful when it is done well. And I think in my particular project I have done it well because especially, oh my gosh, it's kind of cool because that project in which the main character dies, like actually dies, it's told in first person, so it's like even more powerful at the end of the book where the main character literally dies. So I feel like it's really powerful, but it's not really something that I get excited about. So I think like I would sit my tea to this because it's just like something like really deep to think about and like express, and like I don't know, it's like really interesting, which I really like. But yes, I would sit my tea to a main character dying. That sounds really bad. Anyways, next up we have prophecy. Okay, so something I do want to say here in terms with like this yellow tier, a little basic tier, I know like there's no such thing as a basic or overdone trope. Like they're a trope for a reason, and that's why we call it a trope. But like still, I don't know, I feel like at least for me it's a little bit basic, a little bit overdone, but when it is done well, it is really cool. I don't know, because prophecy has to do with, you know, that sort of thing where you can't choose your own destiny, which I don't really like. I like the characters moving through the book themselves in their own pace, but also like prophecy is really, really interesting, and I do actually like adore like most of the content I love, like for example Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's very much prophecy like, but also like with a twist. So I would say entertaining. I don't think it's too basic. Like I think when it's done in a way that's like, okay, like they have magic, there's a Merlin character, like, and he says the prophecy, like, yeah, okay. But I really, really like it, although, so yeah. Next up we have Love Triangle. Okay, I have a couple projects that have this. I think like at least one project. Project CZ, which I really, really love. You guys haven't heard about Project CZ in a while, but that's between like the two main characters. There's Dell and there's Avon, and they kind of have a thing, but then there's Steelen, who's like a best friend slash like childhood friend, and like it's kind of like pretty original, pretty basic, which is okay, and like that's fine. I would honestly say it's a little bit basic, love triangles. But are they realistic? I feel like maybe, but I don't know. I'm gonna say a little bit basic, okay? Like don't hit on me, which is really interesting because like my favorite trilogy of all time is the biggest love triangle ever, and I think like that's the only way it's done well, and that's in the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. I love that. I don't know. No. I'm not saying it's basic. It's a little bit entertaining. It's more than entertaining, and that's why I kind of like it. Like there has to be drama. Like there has to be drama, especially if it's a romance. So this is like, yeah, it's good. It's entertaining. Next up we have Strong Female Hero. That's in a couple of my books. It's a little bit basic. Like whenever I hear about it, I'm just like, oh, again. But then again, like it's like feminism, woo! But like when it's done very basically, I don't really like it. But then again, like what am I to say that? I don't know. I just like, it's just like there. Like, yes, very strong female hero who like is an assassin, who like does all this crazy stuff, and like I guess like for at least my books, this is kind of talking about the extreme version of these tropes. So for Project BB, where it's Robin, who's like a robber, who's very strong female character, it is a little bit basic, a little bit like I like it, but like I don't know, I feel like it can be more powerful in a way. But then again, like what can you do? What can you do? Next up, adults are useless. This is so relatable to me. Like honestly, I feel like all adults are useless, which is interesting because I'm like 19 years old, but I like it. I think it's really entertaining because but then again, is it like overdone? Because I know for especially like YA books, like adults are useless, they do nothing, let the kids do the job. Like that's very like unrealistic and like boring. I don't know now. I don't know. I think it's a little bit basic, but it's also really entertaining. Like I love like the adults being stupid. Is that bad? Okay, forced proximity. This is gonna go sip my tea to this. I love it. I think like sometimes it is like unintentional in a way, and it's like too intentional where it's like, okay, you're just trying to get the characters together, but then again I eat it up. I eat it up. Okay, so next up we have Second Chance Friendship, which is actually very much related to Best Friend Betrayal, because that's like the second chance, and this is for Project CZ actually as well, and I think for some other projects as well that I can't really think about now, but yeah. I don't know about this one. Second Chance Friendship kind of gives me like, come on, like it's not really entertaining. It's not like something that I'm like, oh. I usually like root for them to like stay separate. Like if they betray, usually it's kind of good. Like I like Best Friend Betrayal. It's kind of entertaining because it's like, oh, no way sort of thing. Second Chance Friendship, no, I don't know. I don't know. This is really hard because I think maybe Best Friend Betrayal can come down here to little basic, because like I don't know, when you think about like betrayals within books, it's usually by the best friend or by like someone close to them. You know, it's something like you don't really see coming, you know what I mean? But for Second Chance Friendship, sometimes I like it because I guess, nah, I'm gonna put them both a little basic. Okay, next up we have Paranormal Romance. Okay, this like gives me Twilight vibes. This is for Project Ghost, which is like my only kind of paranormal sort of book that I've ever really written. Where yeah, red kind of falls for Ned and Ned kind of falls for red. Really interesting. I don't really know what to think about this one because it's kind of like falling for a ghost sort of thing. Like, is that normal? Is that okay? Of course it's okay, but I think honestly it's entertaining because it gives me Twilight vibes, as I said. Like, it's entertaining. Okay, the orphaned protagonist. This one I feel like it's very, very basic, but like all of my books have like an orphan in them, basically, which is kind of, I don't know, well, it's gonna be not good for me because I'm gonna like say it's a little basic, but I think that parents should be more in books because it's very easy and like very nice for, you know, the audience. It's like a very quick way for the audience to get attached to your characters and feel empathy and connected to them in a way, but still I think it's a little bit overdone. Next up we have The Secret Heir. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say burn it. That's like for Project BB. And like, I'm sorry, I really don't like this, like, but it's so stupid because like that's the whole point of the book. Like, this trope is the whole point of my book, but it's like very interesting because I don't like it in other books. It gives me, I don't know, for most stuff, so for like general, no, I don't really like it. I'm sorry. Okay, The Reluctant Hero gives me, I don't even know, like they're not strong enough, which is fine. Like, it's relatable, it's very like realistic for the hero to be very like, no, I don't want to do this, and that's very much true for Project CZ. A lot of these tropes are for Project CZ because that's such a big book, but I'm gonna say a little bit basic. Like, it's kind of in between these two, but yeah, I like it, but it's just like, I don't know, like if you're gonna be the main character, like be the main character, if you know what I mean. Okay, we have Forbidden Love. Sorry, I don't like it at all. Like, I don't know, it just gives me icky vibes. Like, if you're not supposed to love them, like, but then again, it's like the whole like Romeo and Juliet, it's more powerful, but then sometimes like that love becomes almost a reaction to that catalyst of being forbidden. Does that make sense? So like the way that Romeo and Juliet loved each other, and this might not be true, but the way that they loved each other was ever so more amplified because they weren't allowed to love that person. So I don't really like it. Of course it's done really, really well in a lot of different books, but I just think it's a little bit yeah, I don't have to explain myself, do I? Well, it's my video, I guess I have to, but yes, I'll say burn it. Not too much burn it, like this is an over exaggeration, but just like, it's okay, but no. The Anti-Hero, very kind of similar to The Reluctant Hero. Not really, actually. This is very much true for Project Ghost, actually, and also very much Project O, which I've actually just done a podcast episode on. I talk all about Project O, so if you guys don't know, I have a Spotify podcast where I talk all about writing, and I post there like every 2 weeks, so definitely go check that out and follow me there. But my last episode was of Project O, and yeah. No, you know what? I would say entertaining, because I actually do like bad people. I like bad characters who are not the traditional hero. I like characters like Red, for example, who's literally just a terrible person, and that's why I think Project Ghost really speaks to me a lot, is because she's just simply like realistically terrible to people and to herself. And that's why honestly I love her so much, and she kind of is the hero in the story. I guess all heroes need stories, but that's why I really do love Red. Next up we have Law Enforcement. This is very much true for Project Prison, which I haven't talked too much about on this channel. I think I talked a little bit about it in maybe a podcast episode or something, where basically like it's a prison story. And they try to get out, but then there's lots of like problems with the law, and stuff like that, and it's really annoying. I really don't like it, but it is very realistic, and it kind of keeps the characters. Law Enforcement, I'm gonna say, look, I don't even know, because this one's like, it's not really entertaining, it's not basic. I don't even know where to put this. I'm just gonna put in a little basic because I don't know where else to put it. Opposites attract. Okay, look, this might seem like counterintuitive because my favorite ever like romance book that I've written is the first ever book I ever wrote, which is Between Amen and Kaido, and those two are like the complete opposites. Amen is the most quietest boy you would ever meet. He's very soft and very kind and very quiet, and he keeps to himself a lot. But then there's Kaido, he's like completely ridiculous, off the rails, like he's crazy. Not really crazy in a way, but he's just like so different to Amen, and that's why I love them so much. So like, but like in general, like objectively for my books, I don't know where to put this one because I love Project I First Met You in a Graveyard, but then again, like for Amen and Kaido, I'm gonna put it up to simply yes, 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 because this is a video about my tropes within my books. And I think Project I First Met You in a Graveyard, oh, I don't know, maybe it's because I think in real life it doesn't really work out that well, and like when you try to, you know, date someone in real life that is completely different to you, it doesn't work at all. But for like books, I think it's more of a personality thing. So when I think about like opposites attract, I think about like the nerdy guy, nerdy girl with the buff guy, or like the cheerleader girl, which isn't very reflective of my actual books, because they do have separate personalities like any couple, but then their sorts of interests are the same, if that makes sense, and ideologies are similar. So yeah, simply yes. Next up we have Unrequited Love. I'm gonna put this to sip my tea to this because I'm a sad girl, okay? This is relatable in a way that I will never get my love actually requited by my fictional lovers. So very relatable there. I think it's very like, I don't know how to explain it, because like unrequited love is something that it could be overdone. Like I think usually for unrequited love, like tropes, it's for like the side character or like the second choice character who's like, oh my gosh, my love will never be requited, blah 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 blah. But then again, like for my particular books, it's like for the main characters, and this is so for Project O. A little bit of a detail there, which is really interesting. A little bit of a sprinkle of some hints about that. Unrequited love, yes. Oh, I love it, but it's really sad. But I would sip my tea to this. Like I adore. But then again, like I want the characters to be together. But then again, like in terms of my writing, I don't care if my characters get together. Like that's how, I don't know. Like, okay, this is a weird thing. Like I might be the only person who does this, but when I do want my characters to like be together, I will like write an alternate ending to the actual book, because I know that they need to come back to the, what's it called? The motif, like the sorts of reasons and the lessons and the meaning of the book. Like there's a reason the characters don't end up together, and that's to obviously express the meaning of the book. So when I do want my characters to get together, I just like open a new document and like type in like some like cute scenes or like an alternate ending in which like everyone's happy, which isn't of course in the case, but like, is that weird? Is that stupid for me to do? I guess like the only happy sort of story where my couples end up happy together is Project I First Met You in a Graveyard. But like, I don't know man. Unrequited love, hit me up. Okay, last two, we have Angst But No Commitment. Oh, okay. This is very much true for a very old project, Project I, which is the inventor story. They have such like a flirty like angst together, like the two main characters, but like they never end up like doing anything about it, which is kind of cool. And I like those sort of relationships because it's extremely entertaining. But I honestly sip my tea to this because it's just like so cool. But then again, it's not like focused on the love, but there's still that sort of playful nature between the characters there, which I really do appreciate, and I think it's just like so fun to read. So I would say I would sip my tea to this. Okay, next up we have the last one, Professionals in Love. What's for this project? Oh, kind of Project O / Project I, actually, as I talked about before. I don't know, I feel like it's good because they're both in the same sort of field, they're both like relatable to each other and stuff like that, and can talk about stuff, and usually they're very connected to each other, or like very involved in each other's lives, which is really, really cool and interesting and easy to actually write, and a lot easier than if they're like completely different people in a way. But yeah, I would say it's entertaining. It's very cool to kind of learn about, you know, what they think about the academy, or like the certain institution they're in and stuff like that, and like how there's more chances for those kind of cool scenes where they're kind of like, I don't know, in a meeting or something, and they're just like staring at each other like, oh, like, oh. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so, so much. And I really hope you enjoyed this really fun, very chatty, very long tier ranking list video. Again, if you guys want to maybe do it with me, or just like let me know like where you would put certain tropes, which was your favorite trope, for example, which was a least favorite trope, comment down below, and maybe if you can do the link in the description. I don't know if that will work, but try out the tier ranking list if you can. Anyways guys, I love you so much. Definitely check out my Instagram. Also, please check out my Instagram. I post like every day there, and I even do like little spiels, or like little like mini essays things in the captions of like all my posts, and I do share my poetry on there, which is very, very cool, and I really do love yeah, sharing my really interesting poetry style on my Instagram. So I do that post like every few days. Thank you. And of course, check out my podcast if you haven't already. And if you haven't subscribed, I don't know why you're still watching this video and you're not subscribed. Like, I'm sure you are. I'm looking at you. Anyways, I love you, and I'm feeling so much better just like doing this video. So you guys have made my day. Thank you. Anyways, I love you, and I hope to see you in my next writing video. Bye!